All right. What up? What up? Let me salute everybody that's in the chat that I can see. Monogamous Player was good, fam. Unique 79 was good. Fat John 911. AJ Leno was good. Manuel. Owusu. Bobby Trauma. Big Bad Wolf. I'm seeing some names they ain't seen before. What up with all y'all? Jay Roman. What's good, fam?
What up, man? Happy
Good.
to be on here, man. Been busy. Happy to be on here.
Okay, that's what's up, fam. Real quick, for those of you who are in attendance, Miles will be here later. He's running a little bit late, but he'll be here later. So the call in line will be open after he gets here. He should be here in a few minutes, right? So once he gets here again, we'll open the call in line, and we'll be good to go for those of you who want to call in. MB was good. Oaktown's Finest was good. So
Yeah, and if you want to
Erin
call
AP,
in,
how
make
you doing,
sure
baby
you
girl?
put
All right.
the queue on the questions.
Yeah. So if you got a question, so while we're waiting for Miles to come in, so we can open up the call in line. If you have a question, put a capital Q followed by your question. We'll get at it. We'll get with it. Joe Blast was good. Uncle Guns, Antonio, Wing Chung was good with you. G Dog UK, uh, Walking His Ways, Impact Voice Podcast. Yo, real quick, I want y'all to go over to Walking His Ways, Impact Voice Podcast. And if you feel so inclined, definitely go ahead and subscribe to his joint. There is a video, a live stream rather, that him and I did. It was for on his channel and on my old channel that got deleted by YouTube. So I'm looking to re-upload that joint, that collaboration on my channel. But in the meantime and in between time, go ahead and go to his channel. So if y'all want to check that out, if you ain't seen it already, Zoramina was good. Jay was good. Who else came up in here? All right, I got all y'all. All right, what's good with y'all? Now, again, so what are we talking about? Masculinity is having. Bro, do you hear any noise in the background? Do you hear noise?
I don't. What does
Okay,
it
cool, cool,
sound like?
cool. Cool, because there's something going on over here. I was want to make sure it's not interfering with the audio quality. So
Okay.
if you hear
Okay.
anything, just let me know and I'll take care of that shit. All right, so real quick, masculinity is having an identity crisis. Men with no identity subscribe to societal standards. Now, what brought this about is a video clip that I came across on Facebook, probably about a week, 2 weeks ago. But I just happened to be scrolling through the shit because I save everything that's of interest to me. And I was scrolling through it last night, and I said, I got to talk about this. Okay, or we got to talk about this, rather. You know what I'm saying? Or at least I got to talk about it from my perspective, and then you and Miles can definitely add your unique perspective to it as well. But again, let me plug the joint. Masculinity is having an identity crisis. Men with no identity subscribe to societal standards. This is what I would say about societal standards. The only thing you guys should be really following is the law. Shit that can get you locked up. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be traffic laws, criminal, that's the only thing you really need to be concerned with, right? Because take away your freedom and take away your money, all of that. But when it comes to how you personally live your life, okay, when you're away from your job, right? When you're not driving on the street or when you have to adhere or obey traffic laws, when you are in the comfort of your home and you live in your life, you guys need to create your own standard. So this is what I want to say, right? Let me just give you out a definition of standards. Something set up by authority or by general consent as a rule for measuring or as a model. So if standard is something created by authority, if you have standards in your life, who were those standards created by? Were they created by society or you? Now, this is what I will say about society. Okay, and I'll use the parallel with the Bible, and I don't want to get into religion because people they get they get a little funny. But you can read scriptures or passages in the Bible. Okay, you can read things in the Quran or the Torah or whatever your religion is. You can read certain things, and you can pick and choose things that you feel you you can relate to, and then you can adopt those things in your life. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem comes in is when you adopt societal norms or societal standards and it doesn't really work for your personal life. And then what you do is you blame the opposite sex. I'll give you a prime example. And then I'm gonna go ahead and show this video clip. Then I'll pass it. I'll pass it to you first. I'll do that. So when I say masculinity is having an identity crisis, what do I mean? A lot of people like to call themselves alpha males, right? And a lot of people like to act like masculinity is about violence or beating people up or about having a lot of women, fucking a lot of chicks. That has nothing to do with being a man. Being a man has nothing to do with whipping niggas' asses and fucking a lot of chicks. That has nothing to do with masculinity, right? So when I say masculinity is having an identity crisis, people tend to subscribe to imagery and visuals. Like if you look up masculinity and you Google it and you hit image, you're gonna see some weightlifting nigga, some big buff dude, and right next to him is a scrawny dude, right? To say that this guy right here, the bigger buff guy, represents masculinity, but the smaller guy doesn't, that's a fallacy. Because when we talk about manhood and masculinity, it's about your behaviors, not necessarily what you look like. But fam, you got it.
I thought you were gonna show the video.
Oh, you want to go ahead and do that first?
Yeah, let's. Or you
Okay,
were trying
let's
to wait for Mouse before you show the video?
Nah, because it might be a minute. Okay, hold on. Let me. You know what? Yeah, let's go
No,
ahead and wait.
your last statement,
Yeah,
I
go
agree
ahead.
with to a certain degree, right?
Okay, let's talk about it.
With the muscle bound dude, right? So, yeah, masculinity is not all defined just because you have muscles. If there's a problem, you have to solve the problem. Some might solve it physically because they are
Yes,
strong enough. Some might solve it mentally and be able to get the strongest dude to handle whatever they need to get handled.
no
So,
doubt.
you're totally right about that. And I think that the imagery that is out there right now is what really causes the confusion with a lot of people that deem themselves or label something masculinity. And I think that for me, it's something I noticed long time ago, the imagery that's out there. The part that really kind of saddens me is if you have a young man growing up and his whole life, his masculinity was taught by his mother or his aunts or the things he
Uh,
watched normally on TV, which is
mhm.
fine, okay, because that's the situation he's in. Not going to knock that. But when he gets older and he has his own thoughts now that he doesn't question it, he still goes along with this society sort of norm, even though he sees that this doesn't work in every situation. Mom, I bought her flowers every day. That really didn't work in every situation. Like, these society norms that they have for men, if you don't define yourself, you're actually being defined by a wavery line, right? Because
Mm,
trends in society changes society norms, right? Not facts, but just trends. There used to be where, dudes didn't wear skinny jeans, right? Now,
yeah,
you got some dudes with their nuts showing in some jeans that will stand there and be like, I'm just of a man as you, and it's just like,
yeah.
in my
See,
book,
see,
we don't do that, in
yes,
my book. And so, you know, I would say one of the things you could do right now for your children and is on yourself is just start kind of questioning who you are, who you want to be, the outlook of that, and is it aligned completely with society? And if not, then there's some changes that need to be done. I know on this show before I always say things like, I don't like don't lie to yourself, right? Don't lie to yourself. Well, I had a very proud moment, man. My son was going into surgery, you know, and the nurse says, we're gonna put you on a little nap. We're gonna put you on a little nap, right? And my son goes,
what up, what up?
nah, you gonna put me on a medical nap, right? So she was trying to be cute and comforting, but my son was like, nah, I'm not gonna believe what you're saying just because you're saying it. You're about to put me to sleep. it ain't a nap. It ain't a, and I kid you not, he looked dead in her face. It's like, nah, this is about to be a medical nap. And then she had to question it. She kind of chuckled, like, yeah, I kind of like the way you said that, medical nap. Like, yeah, you put me to sleep. This ain't no nap where I just went to sleep now. Like, you about to knock me out. And so, just questioning, even in that moment where to make you feel good, he was like, nah, I'm not going to believe this. I'm not going to lie to myself. I know what's going on, and my little dude is 7, you know what I'm saying? So like for him at that moment to not choose the lie, but choose the truth, the truth, even though it still might've made him uncomfortable, he didn't follow just the norm of the comfort in that moment, so.
See, I'm glad you put it like that. What up, Miles? How you doing, fam?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Please excuse the lateness, but I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right. So real quick, and I'll pass it to you, Miles. So, Jay Roman, what I liken it to is he didn't fall for the okie doke. He didn't believe the illusion. And I think in society, there's a lot of illusions in society that got a lot of people comfortable in believing that what they're seeing is how it's supposed to be. So a real quick example of that is, this is what I believe. I believe that as a man, if you have children, okay, if you have a woman, you take care of your family. That's what men do. However, here's the problem with society. Society will say, if you don't make enough money to take care of your children and your woman just with your income, then you're not a man. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because now, this is what I will say. If you do make enough money to handle everything, then handle it. You know what I'm saying? Handle it, right? Because this is what I know about women. Women aren't really good at handling stress. You know what I'm saying? So if you can alleviate some stress in the household to make sure she's doing what she needs to do for you, which is to take care of the household, then by all means do that. But a lot of guys, like I give you another example. I'll just say this. There's a lot of shit in my mind. You'll have guys, for instance, if they lose their job and they got a family, they'll delete themselves. Or they'll go to the job and they'll delete the boss, the people that they work with, because in their eyes, they no longer have this job or this money to take care of their family. So they feel less of a man by societal standards because they can't take care of this thing. So my thing is, everyone goes through shit. Okay, we all have the ebbs and flows of life. Okay, yeah, you might lose your job. You might not make as much money as you used to make, but you still a man. You can get out there and you can get back on the grind and get your shit together. But a lot of guys, they define success strictly by financial shit, what they can do for a woman. And society will have you believe that part of being a man is what you can do for a woman. Like when you hear women say a real man, and when they say a real man and they follow it up, it's always something that a nigga can do for them. But Miles, you got it.
Was there a question, or should I just talk to
the title at hand? So the title is Masculinity is having an identity crisis, men with no identity. And I figure you can really sink your teeth into this.
Right.
Subscribe to societal standards.
Yeah, man.
It wasn't a question, but go ahead.
Shout out to the Masculine Identity membership, man. You guys know what I'm all about. Knowing who you are as a man is pretty much the most important thing in general. You know who you are. You take the steps to design the type of life that you want to live, and that's really what it's all about. But societal standards. It's interesting because society evolves, right? Because there was a time when societal standards actually made sense in reference to masculinity. You see what I mean? Like there was a time when we were still chivalrous. There was a time where women kind of knew their place. Men knew. Well, okay, I'll say this first. Men knew their place. Therefore, women knew their place. And therefore, children knew their place, and so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying? Because it all starts with us. So once we understand our place, then everything follows suit. But societal standards are becoming very ambiguous. And I think that is a part of the crisis. See, the problem with people is that they want the convenience of what they think is freedom. Right. But what a lot of people, what non-critical thinking people think is freedom is actually chaos.
Oh, that's facts.
You understand? And that's the reason why we're in a crisis today, because everybody wants the freedom to identify and be and just do whatever they want to do. But see, that's not freedom. That's chaos. And I'm explaining what I mean. You see, the thing with life is that we would never understand hot without understanding cold, right? We would never understand black without understanding white. We would never understand, color without the absence of color, and so on and so forth. So the reason why we understand one thing is because we understand the opposite, right? So if you understand the structure of dichotomy, right? If you understand the structure of up, down, left, right, good, bad, wet, dry, so on and so forth, you understand that that's what allows us to create structure within understanding. So if I bring you the idea of freedom, the only reason why you would understand what freedom is because of limitation, because of boundary, because of structures that are put in place for you to knock against. Do you understand? Because the only reason why you would understand freedom is because there's something stopping you. The further, you tell a kid to play in the yard, right? But hey, don't go past the fence, because that's Mr. Jenkins' yard. You don't let your ball go over Mr. Jenkins' yard. You might not get it back. Now, what does that kid understand? The kid understands that up until that fence, I have complete freedom. Do you understand? But once I pass that fence, I am there's more information that I have to learn about. There's a feedback loop. There's something stopping me from going past a certain, point. But that idea of freedom is the yard, the fence that my parents created in this house. That is freedom. You understand what I'm saying? But if I was to go outside of that goes beyond, because here's the thing with freedom. Freedom has certain perks and qualities to it. So when the parent says, hey, you're free to roam the yard, the reason why you're free is because your parents' authority protects and covers the boundaries of that yard. So then you have the freedom and you have protection within the boundaries of that yard. But once you go past that fence, you lose the protection that gives you the freedom. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get exactly what you're saying.
And that's the part where we fuck up at, where niggas want to identify as fur babies and niggas want to identify as pineapples and niggas just want to do what the fuck they want to do. No. The structure and the fence and the protection is created in the dichotomy of, for the sake of the argument, man and woman. You understand? We understand what man is, then we understand what woman is, right? Everything has a dichotomy, but if you going out on a tangent where there's no fucking dichotomy, you just want to identify as a fur baby. What's the opposite of a fur baby? We don't know. That's why we can't fucking relate to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's why when you try to go outside the protection of the boundaries, we can't help you. We can't talk to you. We can't relate to you because you're outside the realm of understanding. You understand what I'm saying? So what am I really trying to say? I'm trying to say that men have to know who they are. You understand? For women to know who they are. And then everything else will follow suit. The freedom is not just going out there and being able to do whatever the fuck you want. Freedom is understanding the structures and limitations that have been given, and for you to and here's a beautiful part too. When you totally understand the limitations and the boundaries, that is what allows you to evolve. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because think about this. Think about the Wright brothers. Their limitation was gravity. You see what I'm saying? They had an idea that was outside the bounds of what we all knew, right? Nobody could fly. That's crazy. That's crazy, right? However, because of those limitations, it fucking, like, you know how they say pressure creates diamonds? The pressure of the limitations of gravity forced these two men to come up with genius level intelligence to carry us to a new fucking age. You get what I'm saying? So if there was no limitation of gravity, would we be as advanced as we are with transportation and flight? The answer is no. Do you understand? Because if there's no limitation, then there's no reason to evolve. There's no reason to do better, get better, or to even negotiate the obstructions and the challenges. You get what I'm saying? So all of this shit, it's a deeper conversation. It really is. But I just wanted to bring that up because so many people think that, oh, well, I just want to have the freedom to do and be who I want. And if I'm a man, I could wear fucking, fingernail polish, and I could wear dresses, and I can identify. No, you fucking can't. You can't, because now you're leaving the protection of what we all understand reality to be, and we can't fucking talk to you. You see what I'm saying? But you got it.
Well, let me say this, because you mentioned chivalry earlier.
Yeah.
And you hear a lot of guys say chivalry is dead. This is what they say. And this is where they get it wrong. If you look up the definition of chivalry or chivalrous, okay, this is what you're going to see. One of the definitions is a chivalrous man is polite, kind, unselfish, especially towards women.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the problem with guys is they confuse masculinity or being a man with strictly doing something at the behest or the benefit of a woman. Now,
right.
There's nothing wrong with a woman benefiting from your generosity, your kindness,
right.
But you shouldn't do it simply because she's a woman. Okay, so let me elaborate. I'm going to read you the other definition of chivalry. The combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight. Now, chivalry comes from back then when you had knights, right?
Yep.
Or squires, right?
Yep.
So the combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, especially courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and a readiness to help the weak. The weak could be anybody. It could be another man who's sickly. It could be the elderly. It could be a domestic pet,
a child, yes,
or a woman.
Or a woman. That's what it's all about.
The problem with chivalry is chivalry was hijacked and it was kidnapped. And then they made it about women. Then it was infused in society to say, if you are a chivalrous man, everything you do is about the woman. So what do guys do? They get money to get what? Women. They go to the gym to look a certain way to do what? Get women. When they're talking to a woman and they give her a compliment, what? To get some ass, to be liked by her, right? So everything that they do, it's not a standard unto themselves. It's a societal standard. It's a societal custom. It's something that is customary in society. You're supposed to do this. Oh, you want to get a woman? You want some ass? You want a wife? You want to do this? And I think it takes men further away from being a man, because being a man or being a masculine man has nothing to do with a woman.
Right.
Now, can a woman benefit from you being a man, from you being a masculine man who knows his identity? Can a woman benefit from that? Can she benefit from masculine leadership? Yes. But being a man, the true essence of being a man is your behaviors, how you act. Do you have honor? Do you have integrity? Do you have dignity? Right? Do you have standards you set for yourself? Because society can't tell me what the fuck I can do in my home. I set that. Right? So I want to get to this clip. I want to play this clip.
Let me say something real quick.
Okay,
just on that note, you guys are bringing up a lot of stuff, and I want to come at it just from a different angle, because masculinity is new. Like, where did that come from? Where did that word come from? Because back in the day, you were still a man because you still had to take care of your family. You still had to guide them. You still had to build. You still had to get your property, right? Now, it didn't matter if you was a weak man. Let's say all the men went to the bar, right? Well, there was one dude at the bar that was telling other dudes to shut up, right? And the guy just walked away, right? You know, he was just like, man, I can't beat this dude. Whatever, dude. And so he walked away and he went back to his farm, to his property, and he met his family, his lady, his wife, his kids. She didn't look at him any different because he was the man in that household, right? It didn't really become this undefinable, is it too much masculinity thing until it started involving women. Now, when it started to involve women, we have this masculinity thing where it's like, okay,
Anonymous, hold on. Anonymous, hold on. Go ahead.
It's so close.
Me to go.
Opposite now. It's femininity, right?
Mhm.
Because masculinity was only compared against other men. When you went down to the bar and all the men was there, you got in a fight, right? You got in a fight, the dude beat you, or he had a certain amount of just, bravado about himself, or bruteness about himself, and everybody was like, that dude, that man, hey, you about to fight him? I don't know, man. You might win. And that guy stood up like, hey, this is me,
Right.
But when you went back home, it wasn't there. There was no comparison against masculinity there. You was just taking care of what you needed to take care of in your household. And it's
Right.
kind of funny. Zag mentioned earlier about the feminine thing and females and women. There has been a rise in female heart attacks, strokes,
Mm.
and all this stuff because of the stress they take on that
Facts.
normally was the stress that a man would take on in his household for his family.
Right.
And so, to me, I was just sitting here listening to you guys think back in the days with the Romans and stuff, where was the term masculinity at? Dude, where was that term at when you was on the soldier, when you was on the line, and then dude looked at you and was like, hey, I'm more masculine than you.
Mm.
I don't see them saying it, even though they knew, hey, this guy's a little bit weaker than me. This guy's a little bit undecisive, right? But when he went back home, he still had to be the man of his family and still had to make decisions, and he did that. And she wasn't looking at him like, you're not much of a masculine man. I need more of a masculine type guy. So, just some
Well,
thoughts.
I'll say this, and are we good on calls, Miles?
We got a call right now.
Let's get it.
Okay. All right. So Anonymous, go ahead, bro.
Day 28, Alabama. What's up to everybody on the panel?
What's going on, brother? All right. What's on your mind?
All right. So I was going to say, is it really an issue doing something for the woman because everybody has a standard that they want met? The same way we have standards, they have standards.
Wait. Are you talking about women have standards?
Huh?
Are you saying that women have standards?
I'm saying humans have standards.
Okay.
So is it wrong to, if she has an expectation or a standard, is it really that bad to meet the standard? I'm not saying do it for her. I'm saying is it just wrong to just meet the standard?
Okay, this is what I would say. First and foremost, in women, I'm gonna need y'all to listen. Women don't have standards; they have preferences. Okay, they don't have standards; they have preferences. Okay, so let me explain what I mean. Let's say caller. Let's say you were worth $1 million, and let's say I'm a broke nigga, I ain't got no money, and the same woman deals with both of us, and she likes what you can do for her, as far as where you can take her to shop and the car you drive. So if she says, I want to date a man like Dave who got money, that's not a standard. That's a dating preference. You understand? It's a dating preference. Now, this is what I will say, Dave. I'll say this. So let's say you get into a relationship with her and you spend all this money on her, but you treat her like shit. You try to control her with the money. But she's dating my broke ass. But I treat her with respect, right? So what she could say is, I want a man like Dave that got money, that can take me wherever I want and spend whatever I want. But I want a man like Zach that treat me with respect, right? So what happens is, so if I'm treating her with respect and she understands that she has value outside of just her vagina, she might say, I want a man who can treat me with a particular standard, right? So standards come from men. So an example would be, if you have a woman who grows up with a father and the father's a certain way, and she dates a man that reminds her of her father, there is a standard that her father set. Her father set that standard for her. Now, she can date you, and if you have standards, you can set a standard for her where she wants to date men that are very familiar or similar to you, right? But you set the standard first. There's always a man that sets the standard first. Always a man who sets the standard first, and a woman says, I like that. I want to date a man who has standards like that. Women don't have standards, they have dating preferences. Y'all got it.
I feel like Zach. I feel like go ahead, Anonymous.
I think both sides have standards and preferences. I think other things set our standards and preferences. Y'all gave a example just a minute ago about the men and how they used to do stuff back then and stuff like that. They too was doing things by societal standards. And if you didn't meet that standard, you was thrown in jail. That's why
But who
they had
set
jail.
but who
back
set
then,
the
too.
standards, caller? Who set the standard?
Who set the standard? Back then.
All right, stop.
men set the-
So, cause we was talking about nights, right? You talking about when we were talking about nights, correct?
No, I'm saying that societal standards always existed.
No. Societal standards never always existed, my brother. Somebody had to set them. What was the sex or gender of the person that set the standards, homie? Be real.
That's what I'm saying, Miles. Back then, when men had control and they
Okay,
ran
so
shit,
if it was back then, there's no difference between then and now. It's still men setting the standards today, bro.
No. The difference is now they can bypass us. They can work the same jobs we work. They can make even more money and things of that nature. Now you gonna say
So
it don't
what?
matter, but just let me finish.
No, but that don't.
Now,
But who are they working for? Who are they working for though? You still missing. Who are they working
back
for?
then, you mean the men that was making it so they couldn't work, so they can have the control to set the standards?
But it wasn't about control.
I'm comparing then to now.
It wasn't about control, brother. It wasn't about control. It was about protection and structure. It wasn't about control.
Val, those things make it easier to control.
Caller, I'm gonna come from a different angle, okay?
All right, hold on, caller. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm gonna come from a different angle. I was accused in the relationship of doing everything for myself, that I did nothing for the other person. And at first, I kind of sat back and I didn't know how I felt about that comment. Then I realized I love that comment. The reason why is I didn't treat the person wrong or bad in the relationship. It's just that I held myself to a certain standard on how I wanted to treat a person that I was in a relationship. And that standard was set by me. So now when it seems like I'm doing something, I'm almost doing it for myself because I have a standard on how I want to treat you. So if I take you somewhere or buy you something or give you some money or do something for you, it's because of the standard that I set on if somebody is in my life, how I would treat them as that female lady in my life. That's not set by her. I have my own standard. The problem is if you let her set that standard, what happens is that standard will be different for you than the next person and then the next person. Because we all know that even though you might have worked twice as hard to get something from that person, the next person didn't. And you're upset. Why didn't I have to work as hard as you, as this guy, to get what I had to work very hard to get? Because you did it off of her standard. As men, your standard should be high for yourself and anybody in your life.
Regardless of whether or not it's your woman. It should be a standard you have, period.
You go low when she goes low, and then you go high when she goes high. So who's defining the relationship and who's defining you?
So this is he still there?
He should be.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm
go ahead, respond. Go ahead, respond, Colin.
Okay, I agree. The only point I'm making is back then men had more power. Now it's like an even playing field, pretty much.
No, it's not.
I say it's not even an even playing field because they have more. Because we naturally want them. They be want only with certain dudes do you not have to have shit. Because I've been that nigga before too. But they naturally have everything we want. They got all the bait needed to draw us in and stuff like that. And now, instead of having one like it was taught back then, even though, people was doing their little shit on the side, they can have multiple. They can have 10, 20 dudes. I done seen women show their cash app and maybe 4 people done sent them $200 that day. The point I'm trying to make is people respond from a position of power.
I want to respond to what you just said right there real quick. real quick, and I'll give it back to you, caller. I'm gonna give it right back to you. When you said the men, you've seen these men in that giving her cash app and things like that. Now, what standard do you think those men have for themselves? Is it one that they set, or is the one they're following because they're giving her cash on what she wants?
I agree with you. That's not even what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you have enough of that experience, just like with game, let's take game. Game is built on experience. When you have enough experiences, that new experience, if you experience it, a lot of times that becomes your new norm, your new standard, or your new preference, whichever word you want to use.
No. You cannot. Standard and preference are not the same. Standard and preference are not the same. They are distinctly two different things. But go ahead.
I don't see the difference because you didn't correct Jay Ronan when Jay Ronan was talking about how he treats people regardless now. And really, his standard is a preference in how he treats people. Is the preference is built into the standard.
Okay.
The standard is how I hold myself, which not makes it a preference.
And let that marinate. Standard what you hold yourself to. Now, caller, let's break this down, right? Because I don't want to mince words and conflate shit. Okay, a standard, okay, is something set by authority. Women don't have no authority in our society. Now, they might have authority in their own lives, or if they are a manager or a boss at a job, they might have authority over a couple of people. But when it comes to standards, it's set by the authority, right? Or by an authority. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about standards.
But Zaggy, even me and you, we all black first off. So even us, we kind of going off of a standard set by.
Okay,
we don't
Caller, I'm glad you said that. No, hold on, caller. I love that you said that. I love that you said that because the clip that I'm gonna show is gonna show a Negroid that thinks just like you said. He thinks he used the word, I didn't set the standard, I just subscribed to it. Do you know, and caller, don't take this personal. Do you know how a weak of a man you gotta be to say I don't set the standard, I subscribe to it? Okay, so
no. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm going back because most of you, too many people talking at once. Somebody said something about women set the standard in their own life, and I'm saying you as the man.
No, we didn't say that.
In our own life, but at the end of the day, I have no control over taxes. I have no control over capitalism. I have no control over certain things. They're saying I was born into that. I was born into that system.
Hold on, caller. Hold on. No one on this panel said women set the standard in their own life. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that at all.
No, he said somebody said that she might be able to set the standard in her own life, but they follow under a bigger system. I'm saying we all follow under that bigger system. Everybody.
It's not true. That's not. See, here's the thing. Real quick, Jay Roman. Here's the thing. When it comes to societal standards,
I don't want to calling in trying to,
You said what?
With y'all on some shit. It's just that I got some different.
No, listen. Okay, so listen. Okay, and you're caller, you're entitled to your opinion and you can keep it. I'm not trying to change your mind, but what I will tell you is this. So let's talk about guys who have no identity subscribing to societal standards, right? Societal standards will tell you to conduct yourself or behave a certain way when it comes to women. An example would be if you invite a woman out on a date, let me back up. If you deal with a woman, you're supposed to offer a date. That's one customary thing, right? The other customary thing is if you take a woman out on a date, you should always pay, right? That's another customary thing. Another customary thing is if you do offer a date, you should always check with the woman to see what she likes and offer a date that's accommodating to her.
I've never agreed with none of this shit.
So that's my point. That's my point. That's where men.
Why don't you agree with that?
Go ahead.
Why don't you agree with that?
I mean, I feel like if we two people coming together, that's like how some women value they pussy over dick, but you need us to get we have babies. You need what comes out of my nutsack to have the baby. If we didn't want, like, not to sound messed up, but if we didn't want y'all or what's between y'all legs, we would have no reason to deal with y'all. So I'm not saying that on some level they don't have no leverage, but I am saying that we get shit going. You know what I'm saying? We build up shit. We fight the wars. Our job is more impactful than their job. And in order for them to do their job, they really need a man. The only reason they put on this makeup and stuff like that and go out is to get attention. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give them credit too, because we both deal with each other because we want something from each other. There's no point in dealing with somebody that there's not to say that has no value. There's no point. You wasting your time. So we both are dealing with each other, trying to get what we need from the other person.
Okay, Jay Roman, you got it.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't make sense because you're confusing me. Because 1 minute you're saying what's wrong with doing something nice for a woman, and we didn't say there was anything wrong with it. We just said don't do it just because she's telling you to do it. Do it because that's something that you do for yourself. But then you turn and say, well, nah, I don't subscribe to the standards of society when it comes to taking them out and stuff. So you're on two sides of the same coin.
I will clarify it. If I'm being myself and doing what I want to do and you fucking with it, cool. I'm not going to do it because everybody else said I have to do it. I'm going to do it because I want to do it. But on the flip side of that, I don't see nothing also wrong with doing it because you want something from that person. Because every interaction really is also a transaction. Okay. Every interaction is a transaction.
Okay.
In my eyes, every interaction is a transaction.
Okay, so this is what I would say to what you just said about every interaction is a transaction. I do believe that there's validity to what you're saying, but I'll put it like this. If you're in any type of relationship with the opposite sex, whether it's a casual relationship, sexual relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, there is a transaction, and that transaction is reciprocity. You got my back, I got your back. Yeah. The problem is what is being used to transact that situation? Is it money? Is it gifts? Is it trips? Is it sex? What's being used to make that situation transact and make it go down how it's going down? Now, Carl, that's what I want to do. Miles, is he the only caller in the pipeline?
Yeah.
Can we? I really want to play this clip. If we can put him on hold.
Yeah. Okay. Anonymous, just chill for a second. We're gonna play this clip, all right, bro?
Let me get to this clip. This is important to what we've been talking about, and I don't want to lose the audience.
Hey, I'm gonna call back so I can watch the clip with y'all. I'm gonna call back.
All right, no problem.
All right, cool.
All right.
You a good person, cuz? Like, don't nobody care that a man is a good person if he broke. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody care if a man is a good person if he can't fight. Don't nobody care if a man is a good, like, all that comes after you meet the technical requirements. That gets stressful, bro. It wears on us, you feel me? Like, again, I'll be hearing that it's about other shit, but be honest, bro. It's about that after we meet the technical terms. And it's really starting to eat away at us, bro. Suicide amongst black boys, amongst black men is rising. You know what I'm saying? And it's from carrying the weight of this thing that we taught not to complain about. And many of us never will.
That's a
fact. We'll carry it to the grave, bro. We'll grind ourselves right the fuck away to meet that standard of manhood.
But I think it's a responsibility still, though.
But it's a toxic standard that was set by you guys. So I guess the next step is. Whoa. I didn't lie. Women didn't set the standard.
Let's pause. You didn't lie. I am a black man. Mm-hmm. I subscribe. I did not set.
Okay, I did
not build the standard.
Right.
I build no system. The most I can do is subscribe.
Right. But you subscribing, how can you change your subscription?
What, again, before you put this all on men, what do women still expect us to be?
Yeah. The sad part, Miles, is he thought he was saying something profound, and the other goofy niggas thought he was saying something profound. But he spoke from a weak man's perspective.
Exactly.
I'll pass it to you, Miles.
Nah, yeah, and I've seen a few clips with homie, and for the most part, he does say some pretty dope shit. You know, I'm not gonna get at him, but like most men, they're always looking for that that little opening for them to relinquish their power, just so they can have a little bit of plausible deniability in the end. And that's the part I don't like with most dudes today. You know what I'm saying? And it puts us in the space. It puts us in the space where we always have a backup excuse to be weak or to be able to blame somebody else for our shit. And that's the part that I don't like. Now, I understand what he's saying, that we're born into this shit, but at the same time, as my own man, as my own unit of whatever you want to call this reality, this God shit, whatever you want to call it, as my own walking, talking, living, breathing subunit of the ultimate consciousness, I didn't just subscribe. I also set, because in a way I set my subscription. If you want to use that word subscription, in my eyes, I set my subscription because I was born, I grew, and I looked between my legs and I was like, those are the genitals of what they call a man. And I looked at the information and I didn't just subscribe to it, I embraced it. You understand? Because I'm living, breathing, walking, talking. So that means I'm choosing each and every moment to be in line with that shit. You get what I'm saying? And so it's when I choose it, when I ultimately choose it, now it becomes my own responsibility with the consequences and the aftermath of my choice. So therefore, I really can't blame nobody and call it a mere subscription. Now it's a fucking choice. Now it becomes a standard. You see what I'm saying? But that's how I look at it.
So to your point, I'm gonna pick it back up what you said. So when you subscribe to something, that means you consent to it. You are in agreement with it, right?
Right.
So here's the thing about freedom of choice. And here's where having your own identity comes in. When you don't have an identity, you just accept what's put in front of you. But when you have an identity, you decipher and you question.
You pick it apart.
You pick it apart. What's in front of you? Because what you say is that shit they saying right there don't work for my personality. For who I am and who I know I am, that shit that they saying to do, or I gotta be this to be a man, that don't work for me. So that's where you create your own lane. And you say, I can take a little bit from here. It's kind of like again, and I said it earlier about the Quran, the Torah, the Bible. You can take certain things that you identify with and you can implement that in your daily life. And the rest of that shit, you throw the fuck out, right? So even with society doesn't have everything wrong, but they have a lot wrong, okay? So you have to pick and choose. And I'm glad, ladies, the young lady proved my point. That's not the standard we set. That's the standard y'all set. Man set the standards, period. Again, women, you can have dating preferences.
Right.
Okay. Hold on, real quick. Okay. So again, it goes back to men having a choice to say, I want to do this or that. Y'all got it.
So I'm with Miles. I've seen some of the skits and the little shorts that group has, and normally that guy is pretty on point with some of his points, and I like the way he delivers them. However, this one I'm gonna just disagree, and like Miles, not only is he subscribing, but now he's teaching. So he is reinforcing the same thing he's complaining about by teaching it.
Great point.
Teaching it to other people. And I'm gonna go off of this subject real quick, and please just bear with me. My brother, I got a brother. He's one of the funniest dudes I know. He was always his whole life been himself. He does not believe in racism, prejudice. He doesn't believe it. He moves through life like it doesn't exist. And me and him always like, I'm like, bruh, are you serious? Like, and he explained to me one day that it doesn't bother him, it doesn't affect him because he doesn't subscribe to it. So when he goes to the store and somebody's rude to him, they're just rude.
They're just rude,
just like anybody else being rude. And he doesn't have any limitations that he sets on himself because of this.
Right.
So when he goes to a job or job interview and things like that, he don't have that in the back of his head. I wonder if I'm not going to get this job because of my skin color.
Right.
I wonder if that's just one extra thing that he doesn't worry about and he doesn't deal with. and he walks like it, he talks like it, he lives in some areas that kind of make me uncomfortable. Like, bruh, I don't see none of us here. He'd be like, hey, I don't care because I don't subscribe to what society says is this.
Right.
And I'm like, well, will somebody touch you? And then he said, well, they'll get their ass whipped. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And that's that, So you bring that back, you have to subscribe to these things to go along with it because there's nobody forcing you to do it.
Right.
So the same thing that he's complaining about, he's teaching, and we got somebody on the phone that teach. It's just like when you say it, when you subscribe to it, you're teaching the children and the younger ones around you now.
Right.
Because you'll repeat the statements and say, happy wife, happy life.
Let me add this, and then Carla, we'll get to you. At the beginning, he said, "Don't nobody care if you broke. Don't nobody care if you can't fight." So we're talking about. So he also introduced the word manhood into that same fucking sentence, and it goes back to what I said earlier. Being a man has nothing to do with beating people up. Being a man has nothing to do with the amount of money you make. See, here's the problem, and for all you niggas, women make money too. Women are ambitious too. So when you make great money and you got a nice lifestyle, you're just a responsible adult who made the right decisions in life to have the type of lifestyle that you want. Women can do that too. So you cannot take saying being a man is about making money. No, because women make money too. You can't do it. See, back in the day, you could say that. When women weren't educated, when women weren't in the workforce, you're talking about hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. But being the quote unquote breadwinner, making money, being educated has nothing. It's not a gender specific thing anymore. So for you to even try to equate manhood with financial success makes no fucking sense. But y'all got it.
All right, caller, go ahead, bro.
Well, I get what you're saying, but with society, especially in capitalism, you have to provide. Providing requires money. Money is finances. So to some degree, it makes sense why they would do that. Now, do they go overboard? Hell yeah, but it makes sense why they would do that. But the point I was trying to make is everybody subscribe to something. Even now, with what y'all doing, y'all trying to get people to subscribe to y'all so y'all can teach them game. That's a subscription. Y'all have the Bad Boy membership and the Masculine Identity membership. I need to check them out. But the point I'm trying to make is a lot nowadays, I think it's about control, because those same women that complain about certain shit will still subscribe to it. The same niggas that complain about certain shit subscribe to it. So on some level, we all have to meet each other's standards. Each other's standards. I said that right. Because I think that we all have standards, preferences, and blah, blah, blah. Because that's like saying men don't have emotions. A lot of people think that men don't have emotions, but men do have emotions. And then a lot of other people saying that women are not logical. Some women are logical. We all a mixture of everything. Does that make sense?
I'm hearing the words coming out your mouth, and I'm really trying to understand it, because earlier it seemed like you didn't subscribe to the same
It's not much variation.
You turn around and say
it's not much variation.
We should subscribe to it.
Yeah, it ain't rocket science. It ain't much variation between us no more. Now that we all can do the same shit, because back then it was a division of labor. Men did this, women did this. Now everybody can do whatever the fuck they want to do. Does that make sense?
What does that have to do, and what does that have to do with society's standards, though, and the standards you set for yourself? Like,
okay,
even though any woman in my life, I don't want her to pump gas. Does that mean she can't pump gas? No, it's just that's something I do for the women in my life, is I pump their gas.
Yeah, but even that is a society standard. So I'm saying you chose to subscribe to this societal standard.
I didn't subscribe to that society standard. I didn't learn it from society. I learned it from my father one day, who seen me at the gas station, seen my mom pumping gas. And when I got home, he wall checked me and said, "Do you think I want my woman to smell like gas when she comes home?"
But
And
Shout
that's
out
why
to your
my
pops.
mom that's why my mom, I look at my mom a little different because she's not my mom. She was his woman. So it wasn't a standard by society.
I got that,
It
but
was a standard by my dad.
you don't know where he got it from. You don't know where he got it from. Shit gets passed down. You don't know what's getting passed down from where.
All
There's
right.
people that still believe. You know, the Indians used to believe that the sun, if you didn't kill somebody, the sun wouldn't rise.
Yeah.
You don't know where it came from.
Right.
So let me get this
That's the
straight.
only point I'm
We're
trying
going
to
to
make.
line this.
You
Bottom
know,
line is
all
for me,
shit
so I
like
understand you. You believe in the standards of society.
Some of them, and so do you.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't subscribe to the
You
standards of
follow? Are
society.
you a law-abiding citizen? Would you say
Am
you're
I
a law-abiding citizen?
I follow the law,
Yep.
so I can stay
Okay, you follow
unincarcerated.
the law. The law, you didn't make the law. You didn't set the law. The law was set by somebody else, and you follow. And
Right.
its consequences.
It's the law of the land.
So some, even with you, some shit you subscribe to. That's my only point.
All right, man.
That's
We appreciate you, brother. Thanks for calling in, man. We got you. All right. See, you let me tell you something, man. You got some people who they wish they joined a debate team in high school. You understand? Where they'll hear some people talking and they just want to come in and bring a alternate point just for the sake of bringing an alternate point. You get what I'm saying? Because he always starts off with, "Hey, man, I agree with y'all, but I just, certain motherfuckers is like when I already see through your bullshit is like that's why I wasn't saying nothing. Like, because arguing with him is just giving him attention. You understand? So I don't really fuck with it like that. I don't fuck with it like that because abiding the law of the land is not really subscribing to societal standards. That's something different. Like, because you go to jail if you don't do what the fuck you're supposed to do.
And that's the part that you missed, Miles. I don't know if you caught that. I think it was before you came in. I said that.
Yeah.
I said when it comes to society, the only thing you need to worry about is abiding with the law of the land.
That's
don't
it.
be a criminal. Make sure you don't break the traffic laws so they can fuck with your freedom and your money.
Facts.
Outside of that, do what the fuck you want to do in life.
Exactly. Because and once again, shout out to you, J. Roman. Shout out to your pops. Because that's some real shit right there. You think I want my woman smelling like gasoline, motherfucker? You better pump that gas. Now, how many times have you been to the fucking gas station and you seen a man sitting in the car and a woman pumping gas? So that goes to show you that that's not necessarily a societal standard. You got some I could honestly tell you one day, me and my lady was somewhere and we was at this really dope restaurant, but it was like raining and windy outside. You understand? Now, the restaurant has this little area at the front where she could see when I pull up with the car, and the car was in some parking deck somewhere. Right. So I told her, I said, sit down in the front by the glass. It's all glass. It's like a glass facade. So she could see me pull up. I said, sit down right here. And I'm going to go get the car and bring it around. So because it's just the weather is stupid. So I sat her down and she sat by the entrance. That was by the entrance to the restaurant. And she said she saw 3 couples come in the time that I left. And all of these men, not one of them held the door for their woman. One of them, the woman's dress got caught in the fucking door because he let the door go before she even made it through and all this other shit. You understand? So where's this? So the things that I do for my woman, I hold her hand, I put her in the car, I take her out the car, all that type of shit. Most niggas don't do it. So is that a societal standard or is that a standard that Miles Cunningham made for when he's out with his woman? You get what I'm saying? So when you consciously, to me, once you consciously make the choice, regardless of what society is doing, that is your standard. Take responsibility for your standard. Now, with that being said, guess what happened when I came back and I walked into the restaurant, took my lady by the hand and walked her out to the car. She, you know what she said? She sat in the car. She looked at me and I was like, what happened? You good? And she was like, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you. And I was like, I was like, well, thank you, but what happened? Like, and then she described to me what she saw standing there, in the front. Sitting at the table in front of at the front of the restaurant, and telling me the whole story of all these niggas just treating their women like fucking baggage. Like, you feel me?
But I'm gonna tell you what happens. I'm gonna tell you, and this is gonna be a separate video. I might do a whole separate joint. But this is what I would say to dudes: don't let these YouTube videos fuck up your relationships.
Facts.
Okay, meaning this, because guys will say chivalry is dead. Don't compliment women. Don't validate women. And you actually got a good thing going on with a woman because you listen to some nigga that you subscribe to. You letting that shit fuck up a good situation. It's already a good situation. Why are you fucking it up? So to your point, and it goes back to chivalry. When guys say chivalry is dead, Miles doesn't do chivalry because his woman wants it. It's him. It's unique to him. It's what he does.
Nigga, every once in a while, yeah. every once in a while, I piss my woman off, but it's not like that. Like, cause she really doesn't even express it. But I'll tell you something. The only time, okay, when my woman comes to my building, I have her pull up at the entrance on the sidewalk entrance to the parking deck. Yep. I come downstairs. I go get her. We switch seats. I take her out, put her in the passenger, drive her in. Now, if there's parking on the first floor, I park on the first floor, right? When it's time to leave now, I'll let her drive out because we're on the first floor. If we're on the second floor or higher, I drive her all the way out. Now, the other day, I didn't even realize what floor we was on, and I walked her around to the driver's seat, and she actually sat down. And I said, "Oh shit, we on the second floor." And I went like this to take her hand, and she was like, "Yeah, but I'm already sitting down. I'm good. I'm all right. I can do it." And I said, "Nope." I kept my hand right there like this, and she was like, "Oh my God." And then I walked her around to the passenger seat and I drove her out of the building. Why? Because that's the standard. Only time you could drive yourself out is when we're on the first floor. If we are on second floor or higher, I will drive you out. Now, it like initially for most women, it seems cute and, oh, you're so nice. But let me tell you how serious my standard is. Even in that situation, even though you're looking at me like, no, I'll do it. It's okay. No, you still gotta
get up. Get up.
Because the thing is, I'm not doing it for you. You understand? And the average man would be like, all right, since you're already in the passenger seat, since you're already in the driver's seat, I'll let it slide this time. We only on the second floor, so you just got to go one floor. That's compromise, bro. That's compromise. I would rather my woman get frustrated at my level of consistency than to fucking like see me compromise and let shit just pass like it ain't nothing. No, it's something because I said so. And it's because I said so. It's not for the convenience of my woman or to make my woman, feel a certain way about me. No, this is how I do shit. And that's the thing that a lot of these niggas, and that's why that clip was so fucking critical because, oh, well, I just subscribed. No, motherfucker. No. Once you make the choice consciously for your own life, that's your standard. And you have to uphold it. You got to keep it. Bro, I'll give you one more example.
All right, let's go.
I try, because I'm getting older, y'all see I walk, I try to stay fit, whatever. Unless I got company, whatever floor I park on, I gotta take the stairs up to my apartment. And there'll be times when I'll be tired as fuck, bro, and I just want to take the elevator. But I still take the stairs, bro. You get what I'm saying? The only time I don't do it, like if I got groceries or something heavy I'm carrying, different story. But if I'm just coming in from, a night out or something like that, I take the stairs even though I don't want to, bro. And I live on the 5th floor. I live on the top fucking floor of my building, bro. And I'll just be like, and even me, I'll be like, man, fuck these standards and shit, bro. And I'll be wanting to break them, but it means something. It means something when you choose, when you know what I'm saying, when you said it and you do it.
I'm glad you said that because you put in my hold real quick when you answer it.
Yeah.
I want to applaud Miles for the consistency of manhood. It takes discipline to be consistent. and although his woman might have been a little agitated, deep down inside, she appreciates his consistency and his discipline to being the man that he is, because that's what made her attracted to him.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the main things that caller was kind of missing, that even though it's a benefit that she gets from your standard, and I appreciate when they like my standard, it's still set by me, and that standard is going to go with me wherever I go. And that's what's going to make them mad, is that the next woman is going to get the same treatment I got, and I like that, but whatever the relationship didn't work out, they don't give the next person the same standard that they got. It all depends on that person, that guy,
that man.
It doesn't matter.
Man.
Hey,
Exactly.
That person, I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to do these things until you lose those benefits. And my thing is, if we go by society's standard, right? I've been watching TV, and people around me kind of get irritated because I look at the influences. Because in school I started marketing, and people don't realize when they run a commercial twice, that's not by accident. That's a marketing tool that they use. You think the TV is tripping, they run it twice. They ran it twice so you can remember it. They paid for it to be ran twice, in a row.
They pay extra.
It's not a mistake. And so the imagery and the images that they send out on TV, I looked and I had this conversation with a group of people. Why does it make it seem that the only way through TV right now, the imagery, that women feel stronger is making the dudes weaker? Right? It's not like you'll have a strong dude next to a strong woman. They'll have a movie where the woman is strong and the dude is weak as hell.
Weak. Yo, my God. Yo.
And my thing is, you don't have to say that you're strong by making me weak. You can just say that you're strong.
That's it.
Don't lower the standards of men, because then are you really bringing your standards up? Or is it you just making the other side seem and appear to be weaker? And it's a societal standard now, societal norm, right? You'll see more and more commercials, more and more movies where the dudes are just weaker. And then you got this strong girl stepping up, whooping butt, throwing a dude across a room, just handling business.
Right.
Next to this weak dude. So, somebody like that caller, and I mentioned it before, he didn't mention it or comment on it, is that, are you going up and down with your standards with the person you're with? So if the next person doesn't require you to open the door, you don't open the door. Right. If the next one does require you to open the door, now you open the door. Hey. And so you're flowing with their standards. And if you really look at societal standards have men very weak.
Yep.
Very weak. And you made a great point, Miles, or I think it was K Zaga, where he was like, a lot of men underestimate women. They're not weak. They can make good decisions. They can do business and stuff. If it's all about money that makes you be a man in a relationship, then you gotta reevaluate yourself on what you bring in that relationship, because now when I say what you bring, now you're subscribing to her standards.
Exactly.
Because only I would come and say, this is what I bring.
Right.
Because you already say, hey, this is me.
Right.
Either you like me or you don't. But now, this is what I bring. Those are two different things. Go ahead, Zach.
Go ahead, Zach.
No, even with the body count thing. A lot of guys don't have personal standards. Society told them, hey, this woman is a hoe, this woman is a good girl. Right. Society told them how to judge women based on what they do. They don't have their own standards. Like when you hear guys say, I don't want to be with her because I know dudes, or there might be other dudes I know that have been with her, they're going to make fun of me if I'm with her. That's not your standard.
Right.
Society says don't do that because people are going to look at you differently. So I tell guys all the time that even when they date, their preferences aren't their own, because you're worried about what other people are going to think about you. How can you be a man and set standards for yourself when you're worried about outside entities thinking a certain way about you?
Right.
People who have no impact on your life. They have no impact on your money, your well-being, your happiness, your joy, your peace, your tranquility. But because you're worried about the opinions of others, You literally set up your dating life to mirror the opinions of others, not your own opinions.
Right.
Dudes is weak. This is the problem with society. So when dudes talk about standards, and they're like, it's my standard not to deal with a woman that been around. No, it's not your standard. Because it's I dare any guy to fucking challenge me on this. It's the standard. If society taught you hundreds of years ago that the best women were women who had 300 bodies, you would believe that it was 300 bodies.
Facts.
Society taught you that.
Facts.
So a lot of you guys who think you have standards, society condition you to believe a certain way. With even the wedding thing, women wear white, virgins.
Mm.
You got guys saying dumb shit like no hymen, no diamond. Because back in the day, they had you believing that in order for a woman to be a pure woman, a good wife, she had to be a virgin. Now understand something. I don't think guys even know the history of why that even exists. If you go back to, and I hate to get into a history lesson, but if you go back to the advent of marriage, okay, marriage was about land. Okay, marriage was about passing something to your heirs, right? So the reason why a woman being a virgin was important because they wanted to be certain. If I have sex with you, the baby that you produce is mine. It's my true blood heir. That's why virginity was so important. It had nothing to do with jealousy or dude's joint being bigger or her not being able to pair bond. It was like, I need to feel like if me and you do this and I impregnate you and you pop out a baby or two, those are my heirs. Mm-hmm. And those are the ones that are going to end up, getting my land and my wealth.
Right, I'm reading it right here just to support your argument real quick, Zach. It says right here on Google, I said why marriage was invented. It says marriage's primary purpose was to bind women to men and thus guarantee that a man's children were truly his biological heirs. Through marriage, a woman became a man's property. That's what Google just said. Okay.
So you niggas, y'all made it about
before they got married. It was the dad's property to build a stronger family line.
Yep.
Yeah, but it had to be, because when you pass land to your children, it had to be an heir, or it could fuck up everything. If they found out it was a different, the property wouldn't pass. So back then they couldn't prove it. There was no DNA test. Mm-hmm. So that's why a woman's virginity was important. That's why they invented the chastity belt. Because like, hey bitch, I need to make sure you ain't fucking, because when I give you to this man, he need to feel like he the first.
Right.
Because it ain't gonna work if you ain't the first. Right.
Mm.
But it all had to do with property and wealth and people making deals. People made deals. Hey, like I saw. Have y'all seen the movie Last Duel? Have y'all seen the movie Last Duel with Matt Damon?
I didn't see that.
Now, Last Duel is kind of long, but in Last Duel it breaks down. It breaks down what it was. And y'all know what a dowry is, right?
Dowry, yeah.
Okay.
Inheritance.
So normally dowries is what a man pays for a wife. In France, back in the 1300s, dowry is what the father paid to the future husband. Like, you're going to marry my wife, I'm going to give you some land. So the father gave the dude that was marrying his wife some land to marry his wife. To marry his daughter, rather. My bad. So back then, it was completely different. Like, you look at dowry now, it's the nigga giving shit up. Back then, it was the father. This is why when you look at the history of marriage, the father is supposed to pay for the wedding. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got it, man.
Real shit, exactly. And I just want to say, Jay Roman, you really brought up something heavy. When we was discussing standards and doing things because it's what you do. And a woman, hold on, 513, hold tight just for 1 second. And you doing things a certain way because that's how you do it. And see, that's the thing with the standard, that you're gonna take that standard to another woman. You understand? And see, when you really have your standards and you don't just compromise, that's when you really start to set yourself apart from other men. That's where your masculine identity begins to shine. And that's when the woman has to ask herself, well, damn, if I leave this nigga, am I going to get this type of standard from the next dude? And chances are she's not. So a lot of dudes see, and this is where I tell y'all motherfuckers, the best way to invest in a woman is to invest in yourself. And these are the type of things that I'm talking about. Create your standard, create your program, create your masculine identity. So when a woman actually spends time and gets to know who you are through the vetting process, she'll understand the uniqueness of actually being with you. And then she'll have to really ask herself, do I just want to frivolously leave this nigga and not knowing what standards I'm going to be getting myself into, or should I actually value what this man brings? And that's why I tell you guys, focus on yourself. That's the only way to give yourself not to say you're guaranteed to keep the woman, right? But it's the only way to truly give yourself a chance to maintain that influence in her mind to say, damn, I seen this nigga, I've been with him for 3 years, and for 3 years, he's been putting me in the car, taking me out the car, holding the door, this, that, and the third. Like, just like how I explained, he drives me into the building. If we're on the second floor, he drives me out like clockwork every fucking time. But now I just met this other nigga and he don't even hold the door for me. You see what I'm saying?
He doesn't even come down to the building.
He doesn't.
He says, find a parking spot. Find a park. I'm on this floor. Now she's riding up the elevator with some weirdo looking
by herself. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying, guys. Focus on yourself. Do things, create standards and your masculine identity for yourself, not for the woman. That's how you keep them for real. But anyway, we got 513. And again, not that the reason why you're doing it is to keep them, but I'm letting you know that that's the way. That's the way. That's like the added benefit of doing those type of things for your identity. But anyway, 513.
We're the caller. We're going to hop on you just real quick.
Okay, go ahead, J. Roman.
It doesn't take
what's going on?
Hold on, Chris. Hold on 1 second. We got you. Hold on 1 second.
Just to be balanced for people to understand, it doesn't take away the fact that she enjoys my standard.
Of course.
It doesn't take that away, or seeing them smile and they appreciate the standard. It doesn't take that away. It's just like an added benefit on top, but the standard was already there though.
Exactly. All right. 513. Is this Chris?
Yes, it is.
Hey, what's going on, bro? How you doing, man? Everything good?
Not much. Yes. Chris 39, Cincinnati.
All right. What's going on with you, bro?
Nah, I just wanted to say what's up to Mr. Jay Ronan. It was really nice talking to you out there. And also the Mr. Miles Cunningham for taking my pictures out there, man. Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. That Vegas trip was tremendous, man.
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed all of it.
Yeah, it was. It was great.
Oh, also, and by the way, real quick, for those that are curious, I actually saw Mr. J. Roman in action. This nigga had the lady at the front desk. Oh my God, this nigga had this chick literally eating out the palm of his hands. Like, come on, man. Like, shout out to J. Roman with the game, nigga. I just want to let y'all niggas know. I want to let y'all niggas know that J. Roman is a smooth motherfucker, and he was literally about to this bitch was about to drop the panties. She was smiling from ear to ear the whole fucking time he was standing there chatting her up. So I just want to say that real quick. But anyway, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say both of these men, Jay Ronan and Miles Cunningham, practice what they preach.
Facts.
These guys aren't just saying stuff on YouTube just to be saying it. I saw that for myself with Miles and his girl. Everything that these guys talk about, these guys actually stand by. Because I was with Miles for 4 hours. So everything that he talks to us about on YouTube, he actually preaches for himself.
Facts. Yeah.
I want everybody to actually know that this guy stands by what he actually says. Masculine identity. That is Miles Cunningham.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, and I just to kind of elaborate on what Chris is talking about, because for those that looked at the ticket, the event situation, you had the option to set yourself up for a photo shoot, and Chrislyn was one of the guys who exercised that option, and so we were out doing his photo shoot. And of course, my lady is my assistant with the lighting. So, and like you said, we spent 4 hours together literally because it was raining. We had to wait for the rain to stop to take pictures and a whole bunch of stuff. But the bottom line is that we spent a certain amount of time together to get his photo shoot done. So yeah, Chrislyn was there, and he was able to notice how I treat my woman, like how we vibe, how we roll, like all of that stuff was for real. And I appreciate you saying that, bro. And again, not that I do it for show, because that's how it's gonna be done, even if nobody's looking. You get what I'm saying? But I appreciate you saying that, Chris.
Well,
real quick, hold on, Chris, real quick, bro. Shout out, hold on, real quick, Chris.
Yeah.
Shout out, Steve the Dean. Shout out to you. All right, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, do your thing.
Oh, well, it has to be said, because so many guys call in and saying, well, what y'all saying isn't actually true, but it is true because I've seen that for myself. And I'm an actual testimony from seeing it from you guys. And these guys aren't selling programs to make money, but they're actually living that actual lifestyle. And what they're trying to do is give us that exact lifestyle, what they're actually living. That's what guys don't understand. They're so focused on the extra BS, they don't focus on themselves. Facts.
Yes, sir, man. You gotta focus on yourself. You gotta build your own standard and design the quality of life that you want for yourself, man. But Chris, anything else you got going on? Any questions today?
No, that's it. I just wanted to chime in and tell every guy that comes in from this point, if you haven't been around them, don't say anything. Period. Don't say anything about the bad boy membership, masculine identity, if you haven't actually experienced what I've experienced. That's all.
All right, appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. Thanks for saying that.
I tell people next year.
All right, peace.
Whenever it comes back, take advantage of it. I
be telling these dudes, man, for real.
I want everybody to know this. I got to hang out with Steve the Dean. I will tell you all this when he's talking on these shows with the passion he talks like that everywhere. That is him.
Real
shit. Talking about the way he order food. I'm talking about the way he drive. I'm talking about just it's the same thing. And so the other day I caught a show and the dude was like, why are you being so, are you triggered? Are you emotional? And I was like, if you really knew him, you would know that this is how he talks. Like there's no trigger.
He's passionate.
This is just passionate. How he talks. He's passionate when he's driving, when he's fucking ordering food, when he's just waiting for something. Like this is how it is. And to me, it was nice being in a room with people that are all different, different personalities, different sort of vibes, but that baseline is still there on how they go through life. They enjoy life at a certain level with this game, and it was nice to see. Yes, it was nice to see Miles talk the way he talks without the cameras on, dinner table, talking, giving examples, and
Miles,
he's being Miles, right? And that's just him. It ain't because of the show. Let me break this down. The way the food. I mean, he was breaking down the food at the taste of the. And you're like, this is the. You know what? It's nice to see. It is nice to see.
Because what it is a lot of people can be fake on the internet. People can really pass off. You know what I'm saying, and perpetrate a fraud on the internet. So when you meet people in person, this is the same thing. So it kind of renews your respect for him. Like I felt this nigga was solid, but now that I'm talking to him face to face, all right, cool. This is why I fuck with the nigga to begin with, because I knew there was something there. But when you see it and you experience it, it's refreshing because most people are fake. Most of these internet niggas are not the same people in person. I promise you. Let me say this. Jay Roman, I heard that you and 50, y'all barely made it with Steve driving. I'm glad y'all safe. You know what I'm saying? I just heard some shit. I ain't gonna say. I'm just
hey man, get a racing helmet and 2 seatbelts. If you can order 2 seatbelts, like you need to see that over your shoulder strap.
Yo, I drove with Steve before.
He's a good driver. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, he's a good driver.
He drives fast. I don't care if he got to go a half a mile down the street.
Yeah.
You're going to get there faster than any other person driving a half a mile down the street. Like it could be, the stop could be right there and he going to get there.
Mhm.
So, and I was, and with a phone in the left hand. Like I was like, hey man, like let's choose one or the other, bro. Like we driving, we on the phone, like what and he, he looking at me turning. Whoop, I got this. Like, okay, hey, you got it, brother. Hey.
Yo, Steve.
So, it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
And I say the most impressionable thing for me is that like the one caller said, like you could tell that it's not really for money. And one of the best ways you can always tell that is the give back.
Mm.
These guys, Miles and Lucario, you guys set up a good event, classy, very nice. Nothing looked cheap. It all looked like, hey, we care for the people that we touch. We're going to invite you here, all come together to sit down in a room, really meet each other, show you the true selves of us, just in case you don't get that. And it was a great event. I enjoyed myself. I have fun anywhere I go, but I really enjoyed myself. I had a good time.
Yeah. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that, man. Glad you had a good time.
Let me say this. Okay, for anyone watching YouTube right now that don't have a YouTube channel, just because someone has a certain set of subscribers, when you set up your channel to have super chats, that's separate.
Yeah, that's
you don't automatically get that. Now, if he wanted to do it, he could do it. The problem is when you start setting up your channel for different monetizations and all that, YouTube watches your shit even closer.
Exactly. That's exactly how I don't fuck with it. I leave it alone. I'll stick with my cash apps. But shout out to you, Unique 79. I appreciate everybody for the 10,000 subs, man. I appreciate it, man. Definitely. I still appreciate it, man. It don't matter. But that's why we stick to the cash apps, bro. Like, because once you start getting money from these folk, then you got to start. See, that's another example of not fucking with the societal standards. Because I do my best to kind of stay within the lines of YouTube's community guidelines, but I still got to be me. You understand? So I can't take their money knowing that I still need to do Miles standards. You see what I'm saying? That's how that shit works. You feel me?
And that's why I lost my channel. Just doing that.
Real shit.
I was getting the AdSense and I was getting, but once you do that, now they got a microscope on what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I never would have took their money, like Miles is saying, I might still have my shit.
Mm-hmm.
But once you take that shit, then the censorship gets real.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So and we don't want to be censored out here. Now we still want to have some common sense about the message that we put out, or how we facilitate the message that we put out. But once you start to take and you buy in fully to the whole YouTube partnership thing, yo, you are at their beck and call for what the fuck you do.
Facts. Exactly. Real shit. Real shit.
So,
but guys, call in 919-647-9392. We still got about a half hour left. Call in, guys, 919-647-9392.
All right, so we got this question from AJ Leno. Shout out to AJ Leno. I've been seeing the videos he's been doing on you and all the
Monday. For real, Monday.
You know what? I'm real glad happy, however you want to put it, to see brothers that are actually doing shit in real life. Like they're actually doing shit. Like movers and shakers actually making shit happen in their life. I'm glad to see that.
Yep.
So he says, are you basically saying that a man who looks weak physically, no muscles at all, but mentally and emotionally on point is more of a man than a fit? Yes.
Yeah.
Bro, you could be a 6 foot tall pussy. That's what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. See, look, here's the thing. It's always best to be the best man you can be. Right? You always want to be as fit as you can be, in shape as you can be, and you want to be hitting on all cylinders.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, when it comes to your life. But the reality of it is, I know dudes who are 6 foot plus, 200 plus pounds that can't fight. And I know dudes who are 5'5" that'll whoop your ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it means nothing. Like in this, and when I said this at the New York joint, when we're talking about the definition of a man, manhood is about your behaviors, how you act. It's not about how you look. See, AJ Leonard, you're talking about the visual physicality. Okay. Now, when you talk about a woman being sexually attracted to a man, that might matter to her to some degree. And I think a lot of people get that twisted, because even women will tell you, there's women in the chat right now, women will tell you they've dealt with dudes that look like NFL linebackers that weren't men. They were pussies. They didn't stand on nothing. They were inconsistent. And they met another guy who was average build or slight build, who was more of a man than that nigga.
Right. Right.
So just because you and again, it goes back even with the standard of beauty. Like I love black women to death, but the standard of beauty don't include black women. You know what I'm saying? So unless you got European features, unless you mix or something, right? So the standard of beauty don't include black women at all. But the point is, society has always set the standard for how its citizens should view it. This is how we want y'all to look at shit. But when you live in real life and you doing you realize what you seeing is an illusion. It ain't what you think it is. The same shit that society says, hey men, do this. Why do y'all think MGTOW and Red Pill exist? SYSBM, Passport Bros. Because everything that society said do, them niggas did, it didn't work for them. It didn't work. But the problem is they're mad at women. Society told you that. Who runs society? Men. Be mad at dudes. When dudes complain about the child support laws, the divorce laws, the child custody laws, the alimony laws, who passed and made the laws? Men.
No shit.
Come on, man. You mad at the wrong individuals. Be mad at your fellow men. Because all them dudes were simps. I guarantee you, all of them had wives that ran shit. Hey, I'm gonna need you to pass this law. I'm tired of women getting overlooked for this. Oh, okay, baby, whatever you want. And them niggas was passing laws, but y'all got it.
And I just want to make something clear about it. Says, because his question says, are you saying that a man is such and such and such is more? So it's to say that he can be, right? So what we're basically saying is you can't just judge a book by its cover necessarily. Just because a man looks more physically domineering or threatening or whatever you want to call it doesn't necessarily mean he has the mind of a strong man, because you can have the body of a strong man and not necessarily have the mind of a strong man. And you can have the body of a weak man and still have the mind of a strong man. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Well, you know something to mind real quick about being a big dude that's weak? Ian. That nigga Ian. Ian, if you watching, I'm talking about you. You come to mind. You have a bully mentality, but you really a weak nigga.
Kezaga, I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass if I see you. Hey, yo.
Hey, I was not gonna lie, man. I was hoping he was gonna be in Vegas so I could shake his hand so I could meet him. You know, because I didn't think I'm like 5'2", 5'3", or something like that. You know,
Ian only want to fight dudes that cower.
What I can say is all our goals is to be whole, right? To this 100% to like Zag was saying, move and operate on all cylinders, right? So, but we're imperfect human beings. There's nothing that we're gonna do that's gonna be perfect. So, say you have a man that physically weak, it ain't nothing he can do. I know dudes that are just skinny. There ain't nothing they can do. They can't gain no muscle. They didn't took muscle milk and all sorts of stuff, and it's not happening for them. So, or you got some dudes that just, some dudes know they're not the smartest guys, right? There's some guys that know, like, they don't get things very fast. They're not very witty. They just know this about themselves.
Right.
And my thing is, it's almost like when, I'll let you answer it and put them on hold.
Okay. Yeah. Anonymous, stay on hold for a second.
It's almost like when you lose hearing or you lose certain functions, how all the other ones kind of make up for it to make these other areas stronger. So if you're not the most physical, if you're not the most strongest dude, well, you might want to work on some mentalities to get yourself emotionally fit, make up some other areas to try to make yourself working on full cylinders as much as possible.
Facts.
That's the thing, vice versa. Like, I know a dude that's not very smart. The dude is not very smart, but he knows this about himself. It's just his mind doesn't work like that. And he'll say it again. Hey, can you explain that to me again? Can you explain it to me again? So he understands what he's working with. Once he understands something, then he knows and he goes from there. But he's just not going to catch it on the first time around, second time around. Right. And that's the main thing, to really get to know yourself. You can't lie to yourself. You got to be truthful with yourself. And it's a very freeing thing. We talk about standards and how we need to make those standards. Now, when you make those standards and something doesn't work out, well, you can't blame anybody else but yourself. And that's very freeing,
Right.
because now you know the exact problem on what you need to fix or what you need to do different.
Facts.
Like I always said this, in any relationship I always have, I always hope it's me, because I can fix me quickly because I know how I operate. And I want everybody to understand, like, you're not going to be perfect, but your goal is to try to make yourself whole and work on full cylinders and make up whatever areas you need to make up and move from there. Set your standards, and it's a lot freeing because if something goes wrong, you know exactly what you need to do to fix it.
Exactly. All right, Anonymous, go ahead.
Hey, Miles. Hello?
Anonymous, go ahead.
Hey, Miles, yeah, you got the masculine identity, you dropping floor to floor, simping like that?
Say that again.
You got the masculine identity and you're simping like that, dropping floor to floor?
Okay. Can we get your name and age at least?
Jonathan?
Hello? Okay.
Hung up.
Nez Mustafa says, if you're physically weak, they hung up. Nez Mustafa says, if you're physically weak, you'll be mentally weak. Not true.
That's not true.
Not true.
Well, y'all niggas,
I mean, Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking couldn't even. Well, I forgot his degenerative muscular disease that he had, and he's one of the smartest minds that ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, smartest minds to date. Like, stop it, bro. Like, and these are the little like details that a lot of niggas don't get, which is what keeps them fucked up from understanding game. You get what I'm saying?
Well, Nance himself. Real quick. Nance himself said, years ago, because he's been following you on Lucario like probably his whole adult life and shit.
Right.
That he works out, but he's one of the most mentally weak motherfuckers I've heard call into the show. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, there's a lot of guys that got popcorn muscles.
Right.
They look like they're strong. Matter of fact, I'll give you a prime example of a nigga that got popcorn muscles. If y'all remember Brian Bosworth, used to play for OU back in the 80s, linebacker for the Oklahoma Sooners. He was on steroids. He was tough and the alpha male type of nigga.
Mm-hmm.
But when he got to the NFL, couldn't take them steroids no more. Bo Jackson ran that nigga over and effectively ended his career. Because people look at masculinity and quote unquote with an alpha male, they look at it wrong. Because you look at it through imagery. It's imagery.
Right.
What it really is behavior. So even if you want to talk about Bosworth's behavior, he felt like I gotta look like the biggest and strongest dude to beat a dude. But he was mentally weak because he took drugs and he took performance enhancers to make himself stronger.
Right.
Because he couldn't do that naturally. Imagine how much of a bitch ass nigga you gotta be to use cheating to win, because you can't do it naturally, because you don't have the fucking discipline. You don't have the ambition and motivation to do it naturally. Come on, man. Y'all got it all fucked up.
And that's what Jay Romer was just talking about how you lie to yourself and not see, and that goes to what I was talking about earlier about the limitations, right? The structure around, because it's like, you see, and again, Jay Roman, you said it too. You said when you understand your limitations, it's actually very freeing. Just like I said in the beginning, that's where your freedom comes in, when you truly understand the structure and boundaries that afford you the limits, because it's the limits that are going to give you the information that you need to truly understand who the fuck you are. Do you understand? That's what it's really about. Like you just said, Kazak. That man had limitations on his physical athletic abilities, but instead of being honest with himself and looking at his limitations and then trying to come up with a real plan to improve on his athleticism, instead he took the shortcut. Do you understand? And then what happened? That's chaos. And then you still end up losing. You see what I'm saying? It all comes together.
What's another shortcut that men take? Money.
Facts.
Let me just get some money and everything. Shortcuts. Y'all keep taking shortcuts to what masculinity and manhood is really about. You keep taking shortcuts, and the reason why you take these shortcuts is, why did he want to get bigger and stronger? Because society told him he had to be that way. to get to where he wanted to go. When guys, when they think about money first, I got to get money. Society told you, or women, the women in society told you, we want a guy that make 100,000, 200,000, 400, whatever it is. So now you're doing what society and sometimes what women even tell you niggas. Because you niggas, y'all cry and complain. Women, they want guys that make this kind of money, drive this kind of car, got this kind of status, or 6 foot plus, got 8% body fat, or whatever the fuck it is. So the reason why you complain about the things that women say they want is because you don't possess those things. And you think you need those things to meet that standard to get those women. Y'all got it.
Anonymous again. Anonymous.
Hey, Miles.
Yeah, can we get your name and age? Name and age, please.
It's Jonathan.
Jonathan, how old are you?
31.
31. Okay, go ahead.
Is that masculine? Flow to flow. How are you woman?
We can't hear you. Go ahead. Go again.
Is that masculine driving floor to floor for your woman?
Yeah, but see, that's the part that you miss once again. I didn't do it for my woman. That's the part that you guys don't understand.
You just said.
Yeah.
You drive floor to floor.
I drive floor to floor. Yes. If I park her car on any floor beyond the first floor, when it's time for her to leave, I'm driving her car out of the building because that's what I choose to do. It has nothing to do. I'm not doing it for her, my brother. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Sir.
If you don't agree with it, bro, I'm not here to prove nothing to you. If you want to call me simping, if you want to call me, please say whatever you want to say, my nigga. Please say whatever you want to say. Go ahead and say it. You want to call me simping? It's a simp move. It's a dumb move. Whatever, bro. Do you say what you want to say, please? I'll give you the floor.
Don't be mad now.
I'm not mad.
I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. What makes it a simp move?
The obvious, going up and down. You don't know where she want to drive, and you just laugh, and she's gonna expect that every day. Once she disrespects you, she's gonna expect you to drive up and down.
Okay. You're afraid of consistency. Then you're afraid that you have to, once you start something, you have to display it consistently.
That's not displaying nothing consistently.
Well, you just said, because my thing is like, look, I appreciate when people have different viewpoints. If you want to call it simping, that's cool. I just want to know why. And one of the things you said, was breaking it down, was that he's going to have to continue to do that all the way through, to keep driving and doing the same thing. That's called consistency. Now, if he set the standard and he does that consistently with no problem, no begrudging, because that's the standard he set, he want to do it consistently.
Sure, you tell me if you're winning.
Go ahead. No, caller, you got it. I'm gonna go right after you.
Yeah, no, go ahead. All
right, let me say this. See, and this is what a lot of guys get wrong with simping. Guys think doing anything that women benefit from is simping. Why you being nice to that bitch? Why you buying flowers, nigga? Why you holding her hand? Why the fuck you kissing your woman, nigga? That's simping. Why y'all hugging? That's simping. Why you laying in the bed letting your woman lay on your chest and speak to you? You simping. No, caller. Simping is not about what you do. It's why. Why are you doing the thing that you do? A lot of guys don't understand. It's not what you do. It's why you're doing it. So let me give you an example.
Intention.
Intention. So let's say, okay, and I met Miles later. Lovely young lady, classy young lady, solid in the motherfucker. Man. So, but let's say, hypothetically speaking, that they don't work out. Something happens. And whatever Miles is doing for her, he said, I'm never going to do that shit for a bitch again. I'm done. I ain't doing that shit. Now you can say he's simping because he did it for that specific woman.
Now he want to move the goalpost.
How's that moving the goalpost? Elaborate. How's that moving the goalpost? Elaborate.
Cole, I just want to address something. You said something about a woman disrespecting. Where did I say that the woman disrespected me, sir?
if she's with you. She's with you, right?
Yeah, she's with me.
So, like,
See, dog, if you would actually graduate and then get your GED, nigga, you would be able to make that statement, dog. Go ahead.
Oh, he hung up. Oh. And I just want to say something. If anybody is wondering why I do that, it's because I don't know if anybody has ever lived in a building where you have to drive up floors to find parking, but there's actually 2 lanes, but people love to drive right in the middle, in between the cars going up the floors. Now, the way I drive, I literally use the idea that there are 2 lanes, one to go down and one to come up. You understand? And so, but the people in my building, they drive right in the fucking middle. And I don't ever want my woman to have to worry or deal with the way the people drive in my building. So that's literally, it's because of safety and because I love to drive. I just love to fucking drive. Like, whenever my woman's with me, she don't ever have to touch a fucking steering wheel. That's just a whole other thing because I love to drive. But honestly, it's a safety thing for me. And I have to be consistent with that, because I would hate for the one day that I compromise on that and she's exiting the building and then one of my fucking neighbors, like graze her, or there's an accident or some type of dumb shit. You get what I'm saying? But again, I don't really need to explain this, but I'm just saying.
No, you don't. You don't. No, you. Because I don't believe in explaining myself to these bitch ass niggas. These bitch ass niggas. I don't believe. Look, let me tell y'all something. Okay, this is something that men do. We don't explain ourselves. We just provide clarity to the confused. If you're confused about something, I'll clarify for you. But here's the thing. This is what guys don't understand. When you have a woman in your life and she accepts your leadership, she's under your wing. She's under your guidance, your tutelage, and your protection. Mm-hmm. So what is Miles doing? What is Miles doing? He's providing the protection. You're under my wing. I got you. Mm-hmm. So when Miles and Lacaria talk about the vetting process and all that, the woman who's going to really, really feel that protection is going to be the woman who kind of buys into that. Right. Like, she follows the leadership and she abides or adheres to the standards that my nigga set forth. Because I guarantee you, he ain't like that with every chick he fucking. Now, I'm sure if the women got to a certain level, they will see the benefits.
Right.
But Mama, I don't want to speak for you, fam. You got it.
Nah, of course. All of that shit has to be earned. All of it has to be earned. Because, I mean, you ain't even coming to my house like that, you know what I'm saying, unless you at a certain level of the game. You get what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So
what's so crazy is that she has to fully subscribe to it to get the benefit from it.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. And so, which means that you have to have something to subscribe to. You have to have some sort of standard. And that standard cannot be set by society, because that society standard is going to waver every time. Mm-hmm. So she's subscribing to something that's wavering. Well, that's not solid. That's not consistent.
Right. And you know, I'm going to say something too. Not every woman recognizes the standards, because I could be doing that shit and the bitch won't even realize what the fuck I'm doing. She won't even think, oh, this nigga crazy. He driving and he doing this. A lot of people, some women, they don't even see that type of shit, bro. Like those women, those, you know how a guy like me, I'll always walk with my woman on the inside of the sidewalk. You know, it's some women that don't even realize or recognize or understand that type of shit. Like, they're literally, oh, we're just walking down the street. But she don't realize that every time we cross the street, I switch to make sure she's on the inside. You understand? Some women don't even recognize that type of shit. So that's another indicator to show you how I'm not doing it for the woman, because I'm not, even if whether or not she recognizes it, that's how I'm going to walk with you down the street. Go ahead, Jay.
And some of it is not what they want too. Like, I don't really walk with holding hands and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I like my hands free. I like to be reactive on the go, just in case anything need to happen. I might need to push you out the way. I might need to, and I want that hands free. Now, that's not what a lot of ladies like, right? They like to hold their hand and show their affection, that PDA and things like that.
Right.
And so I'm not big on that. Now, you can kind of hold my arm a little bit, not too tight, because when I need to be reactive, I need to be reactive.
Right.
I don't want anything hindering me. it may not be something that they like, but it's my standard that I have for myself and my feel of protection that I'm giving for whenever we're doing. So it's not the societal standard that she might have for when a couple is walking down the street or when somebody's doing something, but it's for myself. It's for what I think that I need to do to protect whoever's with me and my family. So,
Well,
you know,
go ahead, Jay. You got it, Jay. Go ahead.
No, that was it. That was it.
No, because even with me, like when I'm walking with my children, especially my younger children, like I got a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old right here, right? So or my woman, like if I'm walking down the street, I'm on the outside, they're on the inside. Okay, and sometimes they be asking me why. I'm like, a car could pop up on the curb at any time. I want to observe the brunt of anything that happens, and if I can push you out the way and save you, or keep you from getting injuries that could end your life. Like I got shit to die for. I got shit to live for, but I got shit to die for too. Right. You know, my kids, my family. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is. So there's certain things as a man you do when you got a woman. Why wouldn't you want to protect your woman, nigga? Why wouldn't you want to why wouldn't you want to protect your woman? You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you want to do that? You know what I'm saying? But not because she is a woman, but because she's your woman. You know what I'm saying? And she's done the things that where she's earned that. She's earned that thoughtfulness, that consideration, that compassion, that love, that adoration, whatever it is. She's earned that shit, right? So why wouldn't you give it to her if she's earned it? The problem is when we try to tell you niggas is stop giving that shit to women you met 2 weeks ago.
Right. And I would say this. I suspect. See, you notice what the caller was talking about. He had an issue with keeping up because what did he say early in the call? He was like, man, you start doing that for a bitch and you're going to have to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And then he started talking about, and then so you got to keep doing that. And then what if the bitch disrespect you? You see, this is how I know that you guys don't understand my reality, because you fuck with bitches that disrespect you. You fuck with bitches that you can't even maintain a masculine standard. Like, it's crazy because the same way that you don't know how to maintain a masculine standard causes you to attract bitches that would actually disrespect you, who can't even deserve that type of treatment. This is what you guys don't understand. It is who you are. You don't 372. Hold on 1 second. You don't get what you don't get what you want. You get what you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Do you understand? So I carry myself as a certain standard of man. So the only type of woman that could be around me is a certain standard of woman. You guys don't see what I'm saying. Like, so the caller is like, oh, well, you gotta drive floor to floor, and then you gotta keep that shit up for a bitch that's disrespecting you. Bro, I've been with my woman for over 2 years, and I have yet to even have an argument with her. I hand to God on my nephew. I've been with my woman for 2 years plus, and we have never had an argument. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? She has never. Go ahead, Jay. What you say?
I said, so are you saying setting your standards sets their standard?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Is that possible, Jay Roman? Is that possible? Is it possible? Can it happen?
My bad for interrupting, but like I want really people, and the ones that consistently watch, they kind of know already.
Right.
But those like learn how to take advice, learn how to take messages that they want to finite everything. Like Zag was saying earlier, right? Don't give her no compliments. Ice her, like, and so they go through their life. I ain't giving this chick no compliment, and it's just like, no, like you said, you have to earn a certain thing, and that's natural for everything in life.
Facts.
Right? It's natural for everything in life. Even with children, they earn a certain amount of grace that you give them, of responsibility, right? So now you let them go a little bit longer outside the house without checking in, or go a little bit further, or go with people at your job. You earn a certain amount of grace that, different things that you do that they trust automatically. Hey, I had to make this call, boss. They weren't really doing it. Oh, okay. You've shown a great amount of history with doing something, so you've earned that. And I think that's everything. It's not just in relationships what's going on. And
it's life, period. You got to earn a lot of shit. You got to earn people's trust, people's confidence. Let's get this call, man. We got to go.
Yeah. All right. So we got 372. You're on live with the Manhood is a Skill Set show. Name, age, city. What's up? 372.
Yeah, you know the voice already, Miles.
Oh shit, Nez on the phone, nigga. Y'all niggas was talking shit about Nez earlier. He on the phone now. What y'all got now, nigga? What up, Nez? What's going on, bro? Good to hear from you, man. How's it going?
What's going on, fam?
Yeah, how have you been? How are the rest of you guys doing?
Good.
Dagan and the other gentleman. I don't believe we've spoken before.
That's Jay Roman.
Man, I've been around.
Yeah.
Were you at Vegas? Were you in Vegas? Yes.
I was actually planning on coming, but I couldn't get the permission to travel to the US.
Permission.
Next time.
You probably couldn't get you have to get a visa or something?
Yeah, you have to get some special. It's not a visa. It's a special. They've done away with visas. You have to get some special permission to travel to the US, but it took a long time.
Okay.
So
really, for real? Is that what they're doing? That's fucked up.
They have a visa-free arrangement between the US and the UK, but yeah, you still have to apply like you normally do. But yeah, anyway, yeah. So just touching on my comment that I left in the chat room about masculinity. Obviously, I think that being strong mentally and being stoic is obviously important. It's the foundation, but you also need to have the physicality and the physical prowess to back it up, because like yin and yang, it goes hand in hand. In order not to allow women to disrespect you, but men to disrespect you as well, and kind of enforce the situation. If it comes down to it, like you need to have it out with a geezer or throw hands or whatever, because the guy just won't stop or take no for an answer, and he just keeps pushing your buttons and this, that, and the other. I think that's important too. So you should have both in order. I mean, I know I can't really draw comparisons with this example, but Miles, last year when you had that guy call into your show on your live stream that was a racist or a white supremacist, and he was insulting you, using racial slurs and stuff like that. Yeah. And I know you just sat back and let him go on his rant and allowed him to expose himself, but because you didn't clap back at him and shut him down sooner rather than later, that kind of I think in the comment section made some women, some African American women view you as kind of not masculine and a bit not spineless, but maybe just scared of the situation at the time, because they were leaving comments saying, oh, that's what's up, and that he said what he said, and that's a real man talking right there, and Miles submitted to this man and got scared. Yeah, if it was a black woman, he wouldn't have just allowed the woman to go on a rant and stuff. But yeah, it's just when dealing with men, you need to be a bit more.
Nez,
hold on.
Nez, I'm gonna stop. See, here's the issue. Okay, here's the issue, right? Because unfortunately, you do have some women in our society, and it's not about race, who feel like part of masculinity is a man willingness to be violent. But a lot of times, the willingness to be violent is over trivial shit, words, shit that's said, right? So Miles' response, like, this is how I look at it. Now, when I was younger, I would have been ready to fight over words. I would have been ready to choke a nigga out over some words. But now that I'm smarter, more wiser, and I'm actually a man now, I ain't gonna let no nigga trick me out of my freedom. Right? And that's what words do. Words will trick you out of your freedom, because people will say shit to you now, especially, and I hate to bring race into it, but you brought it up first. One thing that the stereotype about black men, my camera tripping, is that we're violent, we're emotional, and we just react with violence. That's the stereotype, right? Now, this is what I will say about men. The threat of violence always need to be imminent. Meaning, if you fuck up, nigga, something can happen. The threat of violence. This is why men typically think about shit, grown men, mature men. This is why we think about shit a little bit more. Because men who got myself, Jay Roman, Miles, and people that we fuck with, we got shit to lose if we react wrong, right? So this is why you think about it and you measure the response I want to give this motherfucker for what he's saying or doing. Does it make sense to the prospect of me losing everything I built up all these years for, right? So what happens is when the dude was talking shit to Miles, Miles was like, it's just words. So imagine those women that were talking shit about Miles. Imagine all those chicks in a relationship. They don't got boyfriends, they got attack dogs. Meaning the first time someone says something out of line, get them. Get them. This is why you got dudes shooting Burger King restaurant workers in the drive-thru. Because the Burger King restaurant worker told her, hey, you ain't spend no money, you can't get this shit, you gotta wait. And then a nigga show up and shoot the dude in the drive-thru. Is he a masculine man because he showed up and shot the dude? To that woman that called her man up and said, this dude being disrespectful, come shoot him. To her, but she has a warped way of what masculinity is. And again, I said it earlier. A lot of women, especially women that are no good for you, they equate masculinity to what you can do for them. Y'all got it.
Nez, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean that's a good salient point as well, because a lot of men, they can't control their impulses. They flip out over the smallest thing. But I mean that's not really what I was hinting at. I mean, like you said, yeah, the threat of violence has to be a possibility. This is why I keep saying that you need to keep yourself nice and fit and go work out, go train, do striking, some type of striking martial art or grappling martial art. So when it comes down to it, you actually know how to handle yourself.
Right.
Because I mean, if you show any sign of weakness in front of your woman, if you show her that you can't protect her physically, then she's going to be turned off by you and lose attraction for you there and then, like Lucario says. I think Lucario refers to mental weakness rather than physical weakness, but I think they both go hand in hand still. It's like yin and yang.
Right. But here's the problem, man. Here's the problem. You should not desire to be able to protect yourself because you feel like a woman's going to leave you or she's going to think you a bitch. You should not be motivated by that reason. So you can go to the gym, you can work out, you can take martial arts, you can take boxing, and you're doing it to protect yourself. The byproduct of you being able to protect yourself is you can protect your family. But you shouldn't do it with the eye on what a woman might think about you. That gentlemen, I'm gonna pass it to my bros. Whenever you make decisions in your life to improve your life, to improve your health, to improve your self-worth, always do it for you and with you in mind. Because nobody is ever gonna look out for you like you look out for you.
Mm-hmm.
No woman. The only one that might come close is your mother, and even then, not even your mother, right? But women, for the most part, never do shit at the behest of a woman. Do shit for you. And if you a solid individual, you got integrity, you got honor, you got dignity, women, the right women that you deal with will benefit from what you do for yourself. Never do anything at the behest of a woman. Y'all got it.
Right.
I think for me, because I'm agreeing with some of the stuff that you're saying, all people should want to be fit and be their healthiest just for, longevity of life.
Facts.
To be your strongest for your longevity of life. When we were younger, we used to play the push-up game, right? So everything was bet push-ups. Like, I can make this shot, bet push-ups. I can do this, bet push-ups. And, but there's always going to be somebody stronger than somebody else, just plain and simple, because we're all just built differently. Even if a smaller dude, and not all small dudes are weak, so some big dudes are weak, some small dudes are weak. I agree with trying to be the strongest that you can be, but the mentality of why you're doing it is where I'm trying to listen for. And I think Zach touched on it a little bit. I've seen, in my weaker-minded days, me and a group of friends went to fuck this one dude up because he was messing with one of our friends. But our friend was small and weak, right? Well, our friend got us convinced to go fuck this dude up. We didn't even know what the situation was. We didn't know what happened. We don't know who was in the right or wrong, but he came over there, and the way he described it and the way of things, we was ready. We was ready to go. It just, one of the friends said, and it kind of seems dumb now because we were ready to go. He was like, man, what did he do? And it was the fact that he didn't really do anything. He didn't like the way, I think he like said something in school or just something, but it really wasn't anything that he did. But that guy had us riled up and ready to go. So he didn't have to be the strongest, but he was about to get this dude fucked up. Right. So you don't always have to be the strongest to motivate or to affect somebody's life. Right. And just like ladies, they ain't got to be the strongest. They can manipulate a dude to put themselves in a bad position, like Zach was saying earlier. So now my thing goes back to the why. The why am I doing this? And I think that you're right. You definitely want to be able to protect your family and to take care of them. You can do that in multiple different ways now, multiple different ways. That's always a good point because we used to tease if a person can't do 20 push-ups, they can't protect their house. Right?
Look,
you need to be able to hold the door, right? If you can't do 20 push-ups, it's hard for me to believe you can protect your house in any sort of way. It takes 5 pounds of pressure to pull a trigger, 7 pounds of so my thing is, there's agreement, but watch out on the why.
Right.
If it's just for her to impress her, then that wouldn't be the why that's going to be lasting. Because what happens if you lose her? Now you stop working out, you become a weak person until you get somebody, or do you feel like you have to work out for women to like you? Do you feel like you have to be this person for guys to like you? And then you start letting that non-manhood mentality seek in. You always want to do stuff for yourself and then go from there.
Caller. Nez, you there?
Nez, you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still
there. No, I'm here. But it's not just for her though. It's for yourself and for your own.
Well, it shouldn't be for her at all. It shouldn't be for. Nez, listen. I think people get it confused because people are too worried about what other people think about them. Miles, let's take Miles for an example, right? He talked about the different parking levels he's on, whether or not he let his woman drive out the joint. I'm sure, and Miles can correct me if I'm wrong or not, if him and his woman didn't work out and another woman came into the fray, he would do the exact same thing. Same thing.
Yep.
So it's not about the woman. It's about your standards. See, this is why I say most guys, this is why women don't got standards. Okay, and it's not a knock on women. The reason why I say women don't got standards is because 97% of the guys they date don't got standards. How in the fuck do you got standards when you date niggas with none? It makes no sense. Most guys don't have standards. Most guys are like an amoeba. They kind of move. Oh, she got a big booty. She got a big breast. Oh, she cute. And they kind of go with how they feel about the woman, what the woman is doing. You don't got standards thinking like that. Like even when guys say, oh, she told me she only had 2 lovers, I'm going to give her all of me. Oh, she told me she had 20 lovers, I'm going to give her a part of me. Those niggas ain't got no standards either. Because everything they do is about what the woman is doing. Or the perception of what the woman is doing. How in the fuck can you have standards based on a woman who should be following your standards?
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense.
Facts.
Okay, when we talk about standards, again, something set up by authority. If you have the type of mentality where the woman is the authority, you already lost. And she won't respect you. Naturally, women do not respect niggas they can control. Women do not respect dudes that put them on a pedestal. These are facts. Now, they'll deal with you because you're easy, But women won't respect you because it's not the natural order of things. And here's the thing about fucking society and societal standards. Society will have you dudes believing to conduct yourself in a certain way that's not the natural order of things.
Right.
So when things don't work out your way, you'll just blame the woman when it's really you succumbing to societal norms and standards instead of creating your own for yourself. Y'all got it.
Exactly. But Nez, I'll give you the last word because we gotta wrap this up, man.
Yeah, no, I was just saying. Well, what I said before isn't just for the woman though. Like I was saying, it's also for you and for your own self-confidence and self-esteem. Because one time I had a crazy guy that threatened to kill me in a supermarket, a grocery store for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And because he came in my physical space, I was able to lay it into him and really give him a nice little concussive beating. If I wasn't training, didn't keep myself fit physically and just let him ride roughshod on me or over me and just let him do what he wanted, then I would have been mentally scarred and traumatized for that event. But
right.
Because I was able to handle myself, that kind of gave me the self-confidence to go into other situations and be secure in the knowledge that if it comes down to it, I can.
But
Nez, how old are you, Nez?
Here's the problem. Go ahead.
How old are you, Nez?
Old enough to do it right, young enough to do it often. That's it.
Okay.
No,
the point I'm gonna make is this.
32 now.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Jay.
So now at 42, you're gonna have a different strength. At 52, you're gonna have a different strength. At 62, you're gonna have a different strength and speed of movement. At 62, at 72. Now, are you less of a man at a higher age when your strength and physicalness is not as potent as it is now at 32?
I mean, no, but there's ways that you can maintain it, and then there's ways that
No. You would never be the same dude you are at 72 as you are at 32. The same dude you could whip at 32 would whip your ass 2 times over at 72.
I mean, I know a few guys in their 50s and 60s that would beat
but here's the problem. Okay, so Nez, let's say you're 72 and you do well for yourself. I mean, you can fight a little bit, but you're dealing with a guy who's 42 who's a trained fighter. He'll whoop your ass every day. You know what I'm saying? So the point is, this is why there's nothing wrong with being able to defend yourself. But defending yourself has nothing to do with manhood. So are women not allowed to defend themselves? Are women not allowed to learn combat and martial arts and jujitsu and MMA and all that? Women can do that too. So here's the problem. And here's the biggest problem I have with niggas. A lot of guys, when they try to define masculinity and manhood, the same things they will use as the foundation for that is the same thing that women can do.
Mm-hmm.
So is it manhood or masculinity? Women can do it too? No, the fuck it ain't. So there's nothing wrong with being able to fight and defend yourself. But here's the problem. There's a lot of niggas in Chicago on O Block that are shooting niggas dead left and right. Are they men? Are they men? Because I'm going to tell you right now, they don't got a standard. Because the reason why these niggas are so emotional is because of these mamas. I'm just saying. See, we got to go back to who creates the standard. Who creates the standard? Who creates the standard? What gender, what demographic creates the standard?
Well, the men. The men, yeah.
Now, the question would be do you allow society to control your personal standard, how you live your life? Or do you just take what you need from it and throw away the rest? And then you have a building block for your foundation. Does that make sense? When we talk about sovereignty and autonomy and things of those natures.
Yeah, you take what you need from it, but you know, I mean, it's just, yeah. Like I said, you maintain your strength into your old age. You maintain your knowledge. You'll still be able to handle, the vast majority of people. Maybe not everybody, but most people don't train anyway, and then most people don't really bother with this type of thing. So
I've seen untrained people take out trained people. I just because strength is strength, and there's some untrained people that when it's time, they will surprise you. And I'm not saying don't train. Like Nez, I agree with you. You want to be up your tip top shape. You want to be, but there are physical limitations. I used to lift, way more than 220. Now I won't go higher than 220. That is the workout weight now. I won't do because my shoulders, my just everything. So 220 is it. So when I bench press 220, that's the limitation. I'm not going higher than that anymore. But there's dudes in the gym rocking 300, putting 3 plates on, the 3 plates plus 2 more. And, am I supposed to look at that person now and feel less than a man? I think the point that we're trying to get at is your whole identity of manhood cannot just be tied up into the strength and being able to protect yourself. There has to be other aspects that define yourself as a man.
I would say emotional and mental strength is more important than physical strength.
So I agree.
That's just my personal opinion.
Hey, be up your utmost, tip top shape as you can be, but it doesn't stop everything.
Right.
All right,
All right, Nez. We appreciate you for calling in, man. Be safe out there, and hopefully next time we got an event, you can make it out, bro. All right.
All right, take care. Cheers.
All right, take it easy, bro. All right. So I took the phone lines.
So we done. Yeah, go ahead.
This how messed up would it be? You're with a female, you're with a lady. You've been with her for a couple of years, provided, did all this stuff for her. You get in a street fight, you lose, get fucked up, and now she feels like you can't protect her, even though you've been doing all this stuff for her, this whole time through. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden now she's like, I'm with a weak dude, but you didn't provide it life. You done did all this stuff.
You with the wrong woman. She thinks that way. Then.
And that's the point. I was trying to. You be with the wrong one.
But that's what.
Catch you and say thanks for going to battle for me, babe. I know, it was a big battle because there's sometimes. Come on, you seen the dude your man's about to fight. Save your man. Save your man. You see that dude.
Okay. Hold on real quick. We got real quick. Avid. Or not Avid. Ali Khalid. I don't see your question, fam. If you said from before, look, gentlemen, we don't save questions from a week or two before. We can't save them shits. So if you got a question that you asked before, you got to ask it again. We in overtime. We got to go. Like niggas got lives. I don't know if y'all know that shit or not. Like niggas really got lives outside of YouTube.
I got some simping to do.
Hey, he's about to go open a door right now.
Yeah, go open.
And his wife. I said his wife. My bad. I don't mean to put that on you. My bad. My bad. I said it. Miles, don't take it. Don't take it. So anyway, so Miles got shit to do.
Because they lack the balance of the balance of life. The balance of building an individual. That identity.
Actual question
it has
now.
To come with a certain amount of balance.
Yeah.
Exactly. But man, guys, get your soaps, guys. We still got the soap popping. Still got the soap popping.
You got the QR code right there. Snap that picture with your phones, nigga. It's about to be too late. Miles, he can't hold it too long. You know what I'm saying?
Hit the QR code and you can order your soap. And man, thanks for having me, guys. Again, apologize for the lateness and stuff, man. Y'all know what it is.
No, we good. We good. We go there. At the end of the day, we talked about what we need to talk about.
Yes, sir.
We got the shit off. And this needed to be discussed. So, Miles, you got anything you want to plug on the way out?
Hit me up on Instagram at Miles in the Game, and also on YouTube at Miles in the Game as well. Hit the Masculine Identity membership and get your soap as well. Shout out to K-Zag, shout out to J Roman. And tomorrow we got Real Game No Theory at 12 noon Eastern time. Make sure y'all tune in. All right.
And let me say this for y'all that got questions, but we couldn't get to them. But it's late. It's almost 3:00. We got to go. So, you know, feel free to copy and paste your shit, ask it next week or ask it tomorrow. We can't guarantee to get to it tomorrow because, you know, between the 5 of us, it's a lot of shit going on.
A lot of callers, yep.
Exactly. So, Jay Roman, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, if you ever want to get in contact with Jay Roman, you can text, email the Jay Roman, not the Jay Roman, just jromanway@gmail.com. And we'll go from there. We're building up this year. Well, at the end of this year, just had a lot of stuff going on, man. I hate saying I'm gonna do something and then don't do it, but a lot of family stuff, a lot of movement going on, a lot of business stuff that's been taking my time away from doing this. But you know, we're gonna start making some moves on here and going from there.
That's what's up.
Ali Khalid, appreciate you. For anyone that asks questions, no one's ignoring you on purpose. The lateness of the calls keep us past the time, and we just gotta bounce.
Facts.
On that note, like the fucking video. We out.
Peace.